Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Then see. So we have gathered. Now what? Should something happen? As far as exposing notion goes, that might be a good place to start. Something should happen or should not happen or nothing needs to happen. So if it was not about getting it, or even not about nothing to get, you see? Because many times in Satsang it is said, there is nothing to get. You see? But do you get that? You see, in the sense, do you then keep that? How to point to this? How to point to this? What can I say to you that, what pointer can I use that you will not then hug as a pointer itself? Which finger can point to the truth? That the finger itself is not mistaken to be the truth. It may appear then that we are stuck. But would this being stuck without conclusions be a bad thing? If you can't locate what this mouth is speaking, if you can't locate what this mouth is speaking, don't judge that. Don't rest on what you already know. Come to your infancy. In your infancy, this isness is completely apparent. Now don't imagine yourself to be a baby or something like that. An infant is not imagining themselves to be an infant. You see? More innocent than that. More empty, more open than that. It is not in your imagination, in your conceptualization, not even in the realm of your experiences. And it is not there also. What if this mental lostness was actually to be found? And when we can conclude that we have found, then you're really lost. What if the truth was here so apparently and palpably before A of ABC? What is there? If the truth could go missing, that would be a serious difficulty. If the self went missing, and then all of us would have to come to special places to look for the self. Sounds insane. And yet, sounds familiar. Is it? So what makes us refuse to meet ourselves? How can it be that such an intimate meeting could have a obstacle? What stops you now? Are you not yourself? And if you're not yourself, how much will you flap around your limbs and get to it? What new thought will you think that will be the self? What new sensation is yet to be experienced that you will hang your hat on it and say, this is myself? What are you waiting for? Get out of this habit of pretending as if there is something left. Stop buying into this notion of almost there, got it, lost it. That there which you think it is not there. That it which you got is not it. If it can be lost, it cannot be it. All just a stubborn refusal to look at what is. All just ploys. I ask you every day, what is, just naturally? And you say, yesterday, tomorrow, 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes later, here, there. Is that what is naturally? I ask you who you are, and you say, I think this, I feel this, I see this. But the I is who? long will you keep wandering? Keep hiding this monkey me on your backpack, attempting to sneak in the gates of freedom, still wanting it for me. Who is this about? If that body mind that we have identified with for so long, apparently, if that one got nothing, and it will get nothing. There's only one destination for this body. Well, two. So who is this about? What keeps you caught up is the same old stuff. Storyfication, fantasyfication, specialness. Giving no value to the truth, but giving a lot of meaning to needless fantasy. Same old grooves of the mind. It doesn't even have anything fresh. You see? Same old relationship, money, body, freedom. What else you got? At least play with some new type of trouble. These ones have been on for thousands of years. And all because of what? Because you think you know. You think you're right about something. This is the loss of innocence. If you didn't know anything, if you didn't want to know anything, is your knowingness lost? Have you become unaware? What is lost when you keep your concepts down? How long will we keep saying, but the mind says, but the mind says, but the mind says? Now we've heard every story that the mind can say. Is there something fresh that the mind has said? Still enamored by it. It's okay to feel lost. Don't pick up the mind's conclusion about what is true. It's okay to feel lost, but you're more lost when you buy the mind's version of your reality. This little, if you heard just this much, is enough for today. It's alright to feel a little lost, but it is still less lost than believing the mind's version of what is real, what is your reality. Including the now super smart, super special Advaita mind, is it? That many of us have. Just open up. Open up. There is really nothing that you can do. In fact, further than that, because even this is misunderstood and then you will try to do the not doing. Further than that, there is no such thing as doing. There is actually no such thing as doing. Our mind has made a concept out of some apparent movement or activity, if we call it. But there is no doing and not doing. It just does not apply. And then when we see that there is no individual doer, then we give it to God and say, you. We are not so unwilling to give up the concept of doership that we say, okay, there must be a doer. I am not it individually, but you must be. And then a new variation of suffering starts, which is, why are you doing this to me? When will you do the good thing? Or why do you do bad things to good people? All then fancy stuff. Because we picked up a concept which is not natural. Not only is there nobody doing anything, there is no actual thing called doing. Show me, if you met it, show me. Have you ever met this doing or doer? Waves are moving. Is the wave doing it? Is there an object called ocean doing it? This is all just conceptual, you see. Never met the ocean except the waves. The waves are not the doer. See, then the conceptual ocean is. This movement of blame and pride will not help. To see that this does not apply at all. To see that it is all nonsense. Same for duality. Nobody has ever met this duality. Yet we have to have satsang to talk about non-duality. Advaita. Have you met duality? Where is she? Somebody met her outside? Where is it? Where is duality? Only in our labels, no? Only in our notions, only in our mind, only a thought. None of you have ever experienced duality. This is what Maharaj was trying to say. When he said that you are not experiencing suffering, you are suffering, you are experiencing. And there is no suffering except duality. There are no lines inherently drawn defining you and I, me and other.
There is variety.
Variety. Define further.
Different objects in this whole thing.
Yes, so if it was a whole thing, then the difference is only
Inside.
conceptual, I was going to say. You see, if it is a whole, as you say, it is a whole. You see, then when we say different, you see, what are we talking about? We're talking about some perceptual difference, you see, seemingly. But even perceptually, we are not in just perception itself, like we do this often. We just look around and we say, is there duality inherently perceived? What makes this object other and that object you? Is that inherently present here? Is the distinction natural or is it learned? So if it is a whole, as you say, then the so-called difference must only be conceptual, otherwise it's not a whole, then everything is different.
The whole is also a concept.
Yes. Yes. Don't be scared to not understand. Because this is very fearful for most of humanity because of our education system, the way we've built this society. There's a fear of feeling stupid, not understanding. You see, I can tell you that I can't tell you what is going on. You see? I have no idea what is going on.
So is it okay, like when you said it was learned, and then when I say who was it learned by, so you reach a space where it says it was learned by me, and then this me itself.
Wait slowly. So, what is natural and what was learned was the question. Now, you see it was learned, then learned is gone. Then you don't have to pick up what else was learned, like to ask to by whom was it learned. That is also learned, no? Was that natural?
I didn't understand the question.
You said that when you pointed and said what is natural and what was learned, then is it okay if I look at that and then say, okay, I saw that that was learned, but then I'm looking now at who was it learned by, and then, you see, progressing in my investigation, but I'm talking about something which is instant, it is non-progressive. You see, because even to ask who was it learnt by, then is something that you have learned. So what I'm saying is not even instant, like if there was a word less than instant. If you give that to your learning again, then we go on that same treadmill. And most of your minds now have very solid grooves for who am I? You see, very solid grooves. Awareness, self, unchanging, absolute, something.
This duality is the easiest concept. Duality everybody can take to it. That's why in religions, every religion is a dualist except for Advaita,
Well,
which you have to.
there's
the
too much
one-
duality in that statement.
No, duality comes very easily to everybody.
Yeah.
It's so you don't have
Every-
to learn it.
It comes easily in the sense because every notion is
Yeah, that you're
is
separate.
imbibed by in it. You see. If I say drop it, drop it, drop it. And will you drop it or will you become the dropper? If I say empty, 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 you just be empty or will you become now being empty or trying to do emptiness? What is this? It is just a question about will you continue to judge yourself? Interpret yourself. In this moment, you are the most enlightened that you will ever be. In this moment, you are the most enlightened that you will ever be. Is that good news or disappointing? You see? Because again the judgment will come. Oh, is that it? Oh, or yes, this is it. This is the thing. So then the enlightened one playing as if it is the limited one. In this form, this, now, fresh. It is not the outcome of something. You are not sitting right now. You can't find your position. And yet you are sitting effortlessly. What does it mean? Does somebody want to scream? And that's okay too. I want this intellect to become super tired. Then not one word will be needed.
The efforts are happening effortlessly.
Yes, that's nice. Those who listen to the broadcast must be, and they've never been here, must be feeling like we live in some war zone. Fighter jets, ambulances, police cars. It's just got it? Didn't get it? Got it? Didn't get it? Got it? Somebody saying, shut up, shut up, shut up. Got it, no? It's funny sometimes to hear some old reports like Papaji would say, no, this is not for you. You are never going to get it. You see? And then you get so upset, like, oh no, I'm going to get it. It's not for me, he has said. I'm never going to get it. But it just shows how much we live in these paradigms. Getting it, not getting it. How much that has become part of our identity now. Yes, he's just dancing to the tunes of this duality and attending Advaita Satsang. Still so swayed by opposites. You become very seasoned Advaita practitioner. These sages, these masters had their skill about them. They knew how to poke at the right moments in a way.
They are doing it?
Yeah?
Are they doing it?
real I is ever silent observer. But this intellectual duality keeps asking, is the root cause? Probably only silence will lead to silent answer. That's I, the real I. If you're still caught in cause and effect, you still think this leads to that. What is naturally here? One day in Satsang, this example came that an orange got caught in the belief that it's a grape. You see? Now it came up with various, or people gave it various solutions. That if you do this, you'll be an orange again. You see? This will lead to your oranginess coming back. You see? But what is it still actually? It's just a thought. The grape is just a thought. It has no tangible reality of any sort. It is just that the orange is thinking that it's a grape. What would you tell this orange? What method would you prescribe? You say, look for the grape. See that there isn't one. You have looked. You have seen that there isn't one. Then look for everything that is prescribed to the orange nature. You looked and you found that it's naturally here. Every time you look, you see that it's just naturally here. What else is needed now?
Father, when you're speaking, the one that needs to know already knows.
The one that needs to
Or
know
no, the
doesn't.
one that knows already knows.
The one that knows already knows.
Already knows.
Yeah.
And the mind can never really know.
No, yes.
So
Who knows this? Is it the one who already knows or the one that can never know? Whose conclusion is this?
The mind conclusion.
But that one can never know.
Yes.
So how does it know this then?
So the teaching will have to do some magic on its own.
But magic
because
for
there's
what?
no doing from here. There is nothing that can be done.
Well, magic for what? Let's go back to what you said. That which knows already knows.
Yes.
And that which doesn't know can never know.
Yes.
So even this it cannot know.
What is this now?
This conclusion that the one who knows knows and the one who cannot know can never know. Even this conclusion it cannot know. No? Where is it being missed? It's simple. The one who knows, knows. The one who doesn't know can never know. So can this statement itself be known?
Lost father.
This is just he is the mind will. It is very simple. The one who knows knows, Yes? The one who doesn't know can never know. And you yourself said that this is also a claim from the mind itself. The one who cannot know.
Yes.
So therefore it cannot know even that statement.
Yes.
Okay. That's it then. You see? Otherwise we'll make a conclusion out of this and say therefore now this has to happen. But just to check and say that, but actually this is not known really. So to paraphrase Bhagwan, saying that the truth just is all that seems to be needed is to drop our false knowledge, ignorance. Got it? Yes? No? Maybe?
Got it and it leaves immediately.
You got that? See, our notions are like the frame. Our notions are like the frame, and the photo is the me. Without this frame, cannot be. They provide the infrastructure, the structure for this master notion called me. And these notions could be any. But in the middle of all of these notions, there will only be a me. Notionally, of course. Otherwise, if there was a collection of spiritual notions that somebody could pick up, and that would automatically be freedom, you see, then somebody would have figured it out by now. Notion 1 on the top, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Done. But these attempts have been made for thousands of years in religion. To provide a superset of notion, the template which will get you to freedom, has been the attempt for thousands of years. And yet in most of the attempts it is seen as that. Only the me keeps getting amplified. So then you might pick up another notion saying, then it's better to just keep quiet. You see? But sometimes it feels as if these notions are so embedded that they have to be plucked out. You see? So some counter notion has to come to neutralize them. All of what I'm saying is nonsense, okay? Just don't take it too seriously. In this game, it seems like it is like this, but none of it is like this. So, this apparent neutralization of this embedded notions is what the words of Satsang are for. Nonsense. And you see, in a way, the gap between ultimate nonsense and ultimate truth is just a thought. You might move beyond this framing of individuality. Even beyond the framing of spirituality. You see? And if you are still like that, it's okay. Because that's why then what you're hearing now is very like this, like that. You see, it's very tiring in a way. How long will you keep falling for the same trick? I take this example sometimes of, we were in Delhi one time with Guruji and some other dear friends were there. So what happened is that one of the friends, he saw like a 100 rupee note or 50, I don't know what it was. So let's presume it was a 100 rupee note on the ground. You see? So he bent down to pick it up, and there were some people sitting on the wall on the side, and they had tied a string to that, and they pulled. As he bent, they pulled it, and then they were like, April Fool, April. So like that. So this is an example of that grasping and suffering. Okay? Because every time we pick up the notion which has, or grasp at the notion of this limited me, we have never actually substantively found this me. You see? And yet we are out of our just naturalness in a way. So that is what is suffering, if you have to give it a definition. So like this. So it's just this April Fool's Day trick which keeps coming like that. And the minute you feel like this I have got. Once I got this, then you see, my life is moving towards the better, or something is happening. You see? But it all ends in this April Fool's Day trick. And yet when the next trick comes, yeah, I know, I have fooled you in the past. You see? You bought goods from me which were really spurious and really bad, and but this time I am a reformed mind. I am only thinking about your good, and I have top class concepts from the biggest Upanishads. You see? And not just these chota mota katha Upanishads. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Now I have this for you. Will you buy? I started my career in sales. That was Ananta speaking for a moment.
First learn Sanskrit for 10 years.
So first concept is, when you're really convinced that you need this stuff, you see, then and you are a worthy seeker because you're very honest, you're very this thing. There's one small condition. If you hear it in Sanskrit, that would be better. You see? And it's going to take a small amount of time, just 10 years. But what is 10 years for one who's got maybe zillion lifetimes? Yeah, infinite. So 10 years, nothing for you. You see? That concept I'm giving you for free. This might be the final thing I need. This might be the end to my struggle. Let me start learning Sanskrit. Phalam phale phalan.
Panini. It's really hard.
Panini's grammar. And by the way, don't misunderstand. I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with any of that. I'm just saying the idea that it has to be grasped in that way, that which is so naturally here, that is what we are looking at. As far as activities go, it's not bad.
Does it keep the mind busy so it's not getting into more mischief?
The mind keeps the mind busy.
That's like
The mind strategy to keep itself away, the thief trying to catch the thief. What's all of this about? Is it about that which is naturally here? Why would that need a precondition? Do you have to conclude on it? Does it have to be linear like that? that you started a freedom journey and then by the end this was your master conclusion. You see? Is that what all of this is? We're still stuck in that linearity of time and linearity of limitations.
Freedom struggle.
Freedom struggle. So where are we now? Are we in the revolt of 1857 or we are close to 1947? See, our framing is like that. That's what I'm saying. Our framing is like that. Our mind goes in the linear way, and we think we are an object in that way to follow these linear sort of models. But what if all of this framing was just made up? What if time itself was just made up? Space was just made up. World was just made up. Body was just made up. Mind was just made up. Consciousness was just made up. Awareness was just made up. Absolute was just made up. Empty of all of this. What is? Looks like all of you have got it, so we can close. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Moji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.